And it's now time to talk crypto. Laddie, did I hear you say it's a bloodbath?
Oh, yes, it's still a bloodbath. It's not been a really good week for the crypto market. And, major oil markets in the world, we've seen the oil market also, have its pullback. And the crypto market is not left out here, with riskier assets. So Friday, the color is red. Pitch red all through, and we have just stable coins and a couple of altcoins actually in the green this morning. The market cap retreated from the $3 trillion market hit last week. It's down 4% this morning. 24-hour volume in the total crypto market, we have $145.20 billion. And we see Bitcoin dominance inching down there at 42.7%. Price of Bitcoin broke that 59K support, now at $56,000, down 5% this morning. A huge pullback there. Some analysts believe it's going to hit that 53K before we see the latest bottom there. And we have 24-hour volume for the $1.95 billion traded in Bitcoin this morning. Still from that, from the sell-offs we see in the market. Ethereum there, trying to inch below that 4K level there. It's at $4,073. Let's see if the 4,000 level can actually hold this weekend. It's down 4.14%. Volume traded, $22.70 billion traded in Ethereum this morning. Let's bring in Michael Enaji now, digital market analyst, to bring us up to speed. Great to have you, Michael. Happy Red Friday.
Happy weekend. Thanks for having me on, Laddie.
Yeah, Michael. So it's all about regulation now in the crypto space. We've had the regulatory onslaught on in the U.S. Right now with the passage of the new infrastructure bill. Tell us about this bill and how it impacts the crypto market.
Yeah, so the bill, what it does, it adds a lack of clarity into the crypto space for mainly people like miners, people who run their own nodes, people who facilitate transactions on any blockchain who aren't necessarily like a broker. Like everyone knows, a broker is basically someone who facilitates financial transactions. But what Congress is trying to do here is they're trying to paint broker as anyone who runs a node, anyone who maintains a mining farm. Very broad, overarching implications. So basically, what they're trying to do is, let's say, I'm a Mecca in Onitsha, and I'm trying to send $20,000 to, let's say, someone in the U.S. Now I have to declare the entire thing. The U.S. You're going to have up to, I think it's 15 days for you to declare the transaction. If it's over 10K, you also have to report your social insurance number. Basically, it's very stringent financial reporting that only needs to be done at the point of sale. Like, what I mean by that is the exchanges. So this regulation could have been, more detailed, and the brokers could have mainly been the exchanges rather than the people who are facilitating the network. It's almost like America can't stop Bitcoin. So rather than, they know they can't stop it. So instead they choose to make it very cumbersome to make transactions. So the outcome of this is either you're going to see new amendments coming out and them clarifying this broker rule, or you're going to see two completely different cryptos. You're going to see one crypto in the East that requires no KYC to do a transaction. I can send whatever amount to anyone in the world without needing anyone's, without needing any censorship, meeting any censorship in the way. Or what the U.S. is trying to do, where you basically have to do KYC and all these other things for just sending crypto from one peer-to-peer even. So that does defeat a lot of the merits of crypto. It's almost like taking 3 steps backwards. And it's, I think it has a lot to do with the move downward this week, because that officially became law. It doesn't get enacted until, I believe, it's later to 2023, basically 2024. It's when it begins. So a lot of the market participants do have time to, enact these new changes, but that does add, regulatory overhead, to everybody who has exposure to the ecosystem. So, it makes a lot of sense why, we're going down this much this week when there's, something like this to follow the backdrop.
Exactly. But Michael, with the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies, we have some, privacy tokens. How easy is this enforcement?
So the enforcement is fairly easy in terms of in terms of if you want to send a transaction, because right now there's only a handful of places that you can get liquidity to exit. So, for instance, let's say I wanted to send $100,000 worth of crypto to somebody in the U.S. There's only a handful of places, unless they wanted to do peer-to-peer, that they could exchange it. You can, of course, do peer-to-peer exchange and never hit an intermediary. You never have to report anything. But a vast majority of market participants choose to report and choose to use exchanges that are regulated. So it's fairly easy to have these reporting requirements. For instance, when you send something to someone on an exchange and it's an exchange wallet, there's going to be KYC on that part. And you can't just send money to someone. For instance, you can use now Binance to send anything to anyone who has a Binance account. But in the future, the U.S. wants basically for anyone in the U.S. to receive anything, the person sending it to them has to be KYC'd.
Okay. All right, Michael, we'll see how the law is actually enforced and how it impacts the market going forward. But let's hope there's some bounce or recovery by next week or this weekend. All right, Michael, thank you so much. All right, back to the market now. We see top also market cap. No one is spared there. We see Solana there with the biggest loss there. It's down 7%, $196. And we see BNB there with a little pullback there, down 4%. XRP looking to go below the $1 mark there, down 5% this morning. Let's look at my coin to watch there. PSI also had a pullback. Last time it was trading around $240 per coin, but it's $208. So the developers are looking to add some new effects to the PSI network with a ramp-up sale there, and actually adding what they call the launch pad for tokens on the PSI network. So this could actually get a boost going forward. When we say top 5 gainers, they would say VLX, they're 13% up. So even though it's a bloodbath there, we still have some tokens actually holding up there with Mana there, one of the metaverse tokens, $3.95. It's had an incredible run in October. It's up 10%. And we see Sandbox there up 6%. And the top losers there, we see Audio there, 19% down. The bloodbath there with KuCoin shares not spared, KDA and Harmony Network down 10.17%. So, Chimi, it's a red Friday. It's not looking good for traders right now.
Well, the market doesn't sleep, so hopefully, perhaps, you never can tell before this Friday ends, things might probably change. But going into the weekend, I actually would want to play the gameplay. You talked about that yesterday.
Play to earn. Yeah, play to earn tokens.
Play to what?
Play to earn.
Oh,
so
okay.
you play a computer game, you can make some money while you're playing.
And that's on the metaverse?
Yeah, for metaverse tokens. There are a couple of them out there with Sandbox and
that's my
all
own
of those
coin
tokens,
to watch.
Right. All right, so I guess Jimmy's going to be playing a lot of games going forward.
Absolutely. All right, thank you, Ladi. And that's a wrap on the program for today and, of course, for the week. Thank you so much for being part of it. And do remember to join us later this afternoon for Business Incorporated. That's by 1:30. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu.